Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, welcome to Breakroom Mom. So excited to talk to you today. My friend, you are the CEO and founder of The Beauty Way, which is this delicious luxury, clean body care that is just rooted in intention and mindfulness. And I love it. I was just singing your praises about your body oil and how I'm like going to be ordering on repeat from now on.
I'm so happy to hear that. That oil is pretty special. It soaks in, it's super hydrating, you get the glow, but you can actually get dressed afterwards.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking is
Yeah.
like, you don't have to sit there and worry about like, yeah, or are your feet going to slide all over the floor? Like you don't have to feel that way. It's amazing.
Well, I would put product on and I have drier skin. And so I'd really want the hydration, but then I like couldn't open the door or like open a can or like get a snack for my kids. And I'm like, there's gotta be a better way.
Oh
Uh,
my gosh.
yeah. So, um, and it's fun because that oil, my mom's more mature skin, obviously, but she has very like oily skin. And so she's never been able to use an oil
Oh,
until we created this one. And so she and I kind of went back and forth with like real dry skin and real oily skin to really get that nice balance for all kinds of skin types, which is a hard thing to find where it just like
yeah.
soaks in, but also really moisturizes. So she's a
Yeah.
special one.
You hit the jackpot. You nailed it. My friend, I am so excited to talk to you today because you have such an interesting background. I know you spent time in like upscale fashion and retail. You're a mom to two kids. Somewhere along the way started creating your brand. And so I want to get into all of that. But before we do, we're going to have a little bit of fun because
Yeah.
something I like to do with my guest is called Our Turn for a Tantrum. Because as moms, we're just kind of holding it all in. But this is our rare opportunity to let it out. That's right. That's right. Big exhale. So my friend, I'm going to let you go first and then I'm going to head into my tantrum.
Well, mine is Maycember.
What? Stop. That was going to be mine today.
Okay, so it is Maycember, right? So we can share it because it deserves two tantrums. They pack every single thing they can imagine into the last like month of school. And I'm like, could we have spread out field day and the field trips and the school parties and teacher appreciation and let's see, conferences. So I had the volunteer thank you breakfast on Monday. I mean, I've been at the school 4 or 5 days in the last 2 weeks. Like just
Oh my
we
gosh.
could spread it out.
Okay. This is exactly the tantrum that I was walking into this conversation with. On top of the school stuff, so I'm going to build on your tantrum because your tantrum is well founded.
Yeah.
I'm going to build on it. On top of all the school stuff, I'm also dealing with the dance recitals, the cheer like showcase, and then you have to take them to all their rehearsals, which are on school nights, and then in lead up to the big thing. I also have a pre-K graduation. Like it's
It's a lot. We have swim team, and so there's practice every night after school. Then we got the swim meet at 6 a.m. on Saturdays. And I actually took them out of gymnastics and art and kind of all the classes. I take them out. So my little hack is I take them out in I finish up in April. You
Ooh.
can't do that with the dance recitals and stuff, but if they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
have an ongoing class, I stop in April because May is just wild. And it's also for my business, Mother's Day. So
Yes.
it's kind of like my Q4 in Q2. So I have to like really ramp up and make sure that I've got all my marketing and all my ducks in a row while I'm like, gymnastics, art, swim team, teacher
Yeah.
appreciation. Um, Also, it's Mother's Day. So why are we?
Listen, Jyoti, you are so wise, and I need to think about this for next year of just like
Mhm.
because I think it's like I block it out every year and then I'm suddenly surprised by it when in reality like this occurs every year and I need
This
to just
occurs.
remember.
You got to do like a little reflection plan and say, what could we have removed that was not needed in
Yes.
April? And then so you can like, and I'm still, kind of spinning with everything, but I really tried this year to like get that stuff done in April and that was helpful. But It's just Maysember, friends. It's Maysember.
Maysember. Yeah. And in true Maysember theme, my daughter wore this like furry Christmas dress to pre-K the other day. And I was just like, oh my God. And I just let it go because I was like, there's too much else going on.
Oh, my daughter has these like rain boots that she's just obsessed, these Hunter sparkly rain boots. And it's like,
Oh, so cute.
what? I mean, they're so cute, but they're so small, one, and unnecessary. But it's like, she just loves that with a spring floral. So what are you going to do?
Do you? Do you?
Yeah.
All right, my friend, I want to start talking about your business in the Beauty Way because you started the Beauty Way while you were a stay-at-home mom. And so talk to me a little bit about your journey and like your identity outside of the home as a mom when you founded this.
Yes. I love thinking about that time. So I had kind of little quick backstory is I had a clean beauty company 13 years ago when I lived in Los Angeles. It was the very beginning of clean beauty. I was raised very much like clean, organic. We would make a lot of our own products. And so but I'm also a luxury lover. I want things to be beautiful and I want to feel like nourished and nurtured and luxury and spa. So I thought like, I got to bring this clean stuff together with this luxury feel. And at that time, no one understood like the non-toxic thing. And they were like, what do you mean? Why is it expensive? And it was much more expensive to do. Well, it's more expensive, but I mean, as far as like people didn't understand why clean beauty was such an important part of like not getting cancer and infertility and all those pieces that we now kind of is more basic knowledge. But the timing wasn't right. And I ended up meeting my husband. We decided to get married on our third date, 13 years this year. We ended up doing lots of travel. I told you some of my Bali and sort of inspiration for a lot of my ingredients. And sort of fast forward, when my daughter was about 1, I just was kind of in that postpartum time where, okay, I love this. I love being at home. And as a creative, what's that other part of me that is calling to do something else? And I just, gave myself some time to reflect and to quiet my mind. And it just kept coming to me like, you loved these products. And, affirmations and meditation and reflection and all of that is such an important part of my daily life. And I thought, as a postpartum mom and any mom, especially in Maysember, how do we put together these really clean, beautiful luxury products with a moment of pause and an affirmation and sort of pull it together, speak kindly to ourselves. And it's the body care piece of it is something you do every day. So it becomes a little ritual of care for yourself. And that was so important for me during that early postpartum when I wasn't really showering as often. I wasn't sleeping. My body felt, very different. My intestines were somewhere else. And so I just kind of created something I really needed. And then the products, I just am such a product junkie and I loved working with, I found a woman-owned lab and we worked side by side for 2 years, pulling in a lot of inspiration from my travels from Bali, from Morocco, from Italy, from Thailand, ancient beauty rituals, as well as ingredients, and just pulled that all together with the affirmations and want to create and inspire and invite this purposeful pause and glowing skin.
And glowing skin. I love it. And I love what you said about like like you can be the mom and you can have this creative outlet because it's so important to have both. And you and I talked about this, but like I'm a huge believer in signs. And so if it keeps coming back to you, like there's something there. There's something there.
It is so powerful. But I think we have to be paying attention, right? And give those signs the validity of saying like, okay, that's leading me in this direction. I think we are very much guided. And if we really pay attention, we get these signs and it will keep coming up. And so if you don't listen, like the universe will say, hey, like, knock you over the head with it. And I just started creating. And I think that's when I feel the most myself. And I think I can be creative with my kids. I can be creative in my marriage and in my life and as a friend. But, that just when I'm creating is when I feel the most myself. And so I got to do that with these products and, do all the branding and the copy and really create the story of this purposeful pause and what it's meant to and what I want it to mean to women.
Yeah. Your passions came together. Yeah, for sure.
They all
Yeah.
kind of came together. And so, yeah, and now it's been 2.5 years. And I've moved into this next kind of level where I'm creating these signature treatments for luxury spas, which is like just dreamy.
Oh my gosh, so cool. So cool. Um, I want to talk a little bit about motherhood still because I
Yes.
think as Zillennial moms, there's, this intense pressure to do everything perfectly, right? And I think it's compounded by social media, it's compounded by seeing other moms doing it. And, we know it's maybe not all real, of course.
Yeah.
But I have to imagine you're building this mega house brand, you're creating these signature treatments, which is so cool. Like, what have you given yourself permission slips in your motherhood journey to just say, you know what? I'm going to let this go so that I can be, really to your point, like my creative energy and I can excel at this.
I think that the balance idea is just not really a realistic thing. I think that something has to give and you're going to give more to your company or more to your kids. But I think that the thing that I don't feel guilty, which I feel guilty not feeling guilty, but I don't feel guilt
Yeah.
because I think the thing I've built into it and really is what my brand is about is we're so focused on presence with our kids and so focused on presence in our career. We're like constantly trying to be present in both places at all times. And I think we actually forget presence with ourselves. And
Mhm.
so this whole brand is about creating, and this isn't, I'm not talking about like 4 hours a day, but I have a little presence with myself to check in daily. And when I'm using these products and just sort of that moment of pause. And that sort of recenters me and I feel gratitude in those moments. I feel confident in those moments. And so that actually helps me to like show up in those other places and just say that,
Yeah.
like you're doing a great job. Like that's those affirmations. Like
Yeah.
you're doing it, girl. You're doing it. And things are going to give here and there. But I find that I actually feel more present with my children and more present in my career when I'm connected back in with myself. And so taking that moment to connect in back with yourself and take a little inventory of all the things that you're doing and all the people that you're showing up for and including yourself. And I'm just like, wow, I'm kind of incredible. Like I'm
You
doing
are.
a lot of good things. And I think all women are the amount of things that we do. And some things just have to give, right?
Mhm.
There's those
Mhm.
life hacks that you pick up that just some things are going to have to give, but don't let that be your time with yourself and your care with yourself. And also don't feel like self-care has to be this you're going to the spa all the time or, this major thing. I think it's the tiny little habits um every day, our presence with ourselves that add up to that confidence and that connection back in to really really show up. And it's kind
Yeah.
of simple, but it's hard to do.
No, no, no. I love it. I love it. And that just brings me right back to those sparkly hunter boots. That can be the thing that slips. You talked about mantras, and I want to get to that because you have made the conscious decision to include on your packaging, you have different mantras. So it
Yeah.
really is like that nice ritual moment of self-care with the skincare and those mantras, those meaningful moments. Like that's such a cool, little aspect of all of your products and their packaging.
I mean, it's kind of habit stacking, right? Like we're
Mhm.
in the shower, we're going to do it anyway. And I do it every time I put it's on the full size one. So it's not on the little ones that you have, but
Mhm.
um, every time I use it, I use the oil. I love to put the oil next to my bed, by the way, like right before I hop into bed, I just do neck and décolleté arms and I'm so hydrated when I wake up. But I choose happiness. And it's just one of those things that sort of gets me out of my monkey mind of like the million things I have to do. I take a deep breath, I say my mantra, and it's just sort of a beautiful way to like get back in bed. But my washes, my actions align with my heart's desire. And if you give yourself a moment to think about that, it starts to shift the actions in your day. Like, is this thing I'm about to do or the things that I have today, is this aligning with what I desire in my life? So it's these kind of practical affirmations that really do just get you out of the busyness and the craziness or just the like autopilot that we're on a lot also. And it
Mhm.
brings you back to that moment.
On the podcast, we talk a lot about survival eating, survival parenting. It kind of gets back to what we've been talking about with just like you're grabbing a granola bar as you're heading out the door because
Yeah.
it's Maysember and you've got a million other things going on. But I know your brand is a lot about like slowing down. So how do you find a moment for a ritual when you're just in the middle of a kid meltdown or a busy school morning?
The routine has become the ritual. So I think what happens is that when you do something, well, let me say this too. It's something that I've built in as a ritual and it's already a routine and I see the benefits, right? So I keep doing it where I just center myself. And so it's just something that creates space for me when it is really crazy. So it's just those moments that like I find that I can, when it feels really crazy, it's the thing I go to. And I think that wellness these days is like almost like a full-time job. It's like you got to eat
Oh,
the protein and you
yeah.
got to do the fiber and also you should add this supplement and this supplement and now you got to have like a vibrating plate. And also you got to make sure you're wearing your weighted vest when you go on your 20-minute walk every day. And for me, wellness is not like adding all these things that make you feel overwhelmed. It's about finding those things that make you feel calm. And for
Mhm.
me, finding those moments that are just built into my day, because again, it's like, it's the shower. I'm already doing that. I'm already going to put cream on my body. So I'm habit stacking in that moment. And I just think wellness is not about like adding a million things. I
Yeah.
think it's like fine tune the things that you get results from and do those consistently. And don't make it like, also I think we decide that we have to do this overhaul where we're like, okay, today I'm going to eat no carbs and I'm going to have two huge things of water and I'm going to do all the supplements and I'm going to, do this all in one day. And it just never happens and you end up feeling just kind of overwhelmed. So whatever those little habits that help you to find that calm, just pick one for 5 minutes a day and start there. And
Yeah.
don't, otherwise it just gets so overwhelming with all the information, right?
Totally. Totally. And to your point, it doesn't have to be a long thing, right? Like it is just that 5 minutes to yourself and it can feel so refreshing.
It feels so refreshing. I was reading this thing and this is not the same thing, but it just reminds me that quality over quantity is such a big deal. It was like kids need 7 minutes of undivided attention every day to really feel loved, which is like 7 minutes is nothing,
Nothing.
but it's quality over quantity, right? So if you're
Mhm.
looking in their eyes for 7 minutes and letting them tell you about whatever it is that they're thinking about, that is makes such an impression. So if you have 7 minutes of mindfulness with yourself to slow it all down, to speak kindly with yourself, I think the most important conversation you have is the one with yourself because we've got to show up for all the other people. And if they need that 7 minutes to feel that like deep love and appreciation and connection with their parents, like do that for yourself. And it's just such a game changer of you matter. It's that body and soul care.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love that. I love that. Um, so much of so like speaking of overwhelming beauty routines, I feel like so much of today's consumerism is centered around the face. And I mean, hey, I'm one to talk. I just went to South Korea recently and spent way too much money on my face.
So
But I
fun.
feel like it was so fun and it was
So
fun to
fun.
try out those things. But so much of it is like the 18 layers of face things. But are you seeing this shift towards like whole skincare? And I mean like the whole body and not just like keep your face as young as possible.
Yeah, I think there's such a shift. I'm fortunate to be in sort of this boom of body care right now that I didn't understand was going to happen. But I think what people are realizing is one, your skin is your largest organ. So anything you're putting on your skin is like what you're eating. So the clean thing should just be like a non-negotiable. Like we shouldn't even,
Mhm.
it's not even something that I talk too much about because it just should be a non-negotiable that you're putting clean body care on. But I think if you're talking about the aging piece, the like neck, chest, and hands are the places that you see age, and it's the hardest, with like the lasers, or you can't. I mean, maybe you can get filler in those areas, but it really is important to work on those areas. And also with my body care, there's a lot of actives. It's not just like a lotion that feels good. I've got niacinamide, what helps with tone and texture, and vitamin C that helps with brightening. And there's sea moss extract in there. And I've got hyaluronics, and I've got alpha hydroxy acids in that polish that help just exfoliate. So it's, we're seeing a huge amount. And actually there's this boom because of so much GLP-1 use. People are losing so much weight and their skins loses that elasticity or is hanging. Yeah. So a lot of these actives and a lot of body cares, I have like a ton of med spa clients that want something clean, but they want the actives in there that are actually helping, the overall health of your skin, not just like feeling good or sitting on the top. Right. So we don't have any of the silicone that just looks nice on the top. It's really soaking in and doing its work for mature skin and skin that if you're losing weight and things like that. So body's care is having a real moment, and it's full body skincare. We're seeing serums for body. We're seeing toners for body. So it's having a real moment, and there's so many beautiful things in nature. Like I was telling you, I found plum oil in Bali, and the hydrosol in Morocco that just helps with inflammation. And, my soak has magnesium, so that's going to help with muscle recovery and stress. So, these are hardworking products. I said neck to toes, but really it is such an important part, for the overall health of your skin, but also aging gracefully. We got to do the whole body.
Yeah. I love what you said about clean being non-negotiable. And this was something that we talked about, which was I was sharing with you that I'd just come back from Bali. And synthetic fragrances are my downfall. I get horrible migraines.
Same.
I cringe every time my kids want to buy a lotion or something from Five Below. I'm just like, oh gosh. And in Bali, I was riding around in these cars that had air fresheners, they had bagged air fresheners. And I was like, I feel great. And I was like, this smells good. I have no reaction. And it's because it was so pure. And you had shared with me that you took that inspiration from all of your travels to funnel into your products. So
yeah, well, I'm just like that. And I think we are getting just more sensitive to fragrance. And there's so many, so I don't have any synthetic fragrances. It's a blend of essential oils and fruit compounds, and you can create these really sophisticated smells, and you've smelled it. It's very light. It's a little bit of citrus, but then I have some pink peppercorn and some ginger to kind of ground it. It's very spa, it's very clean, but it doesn't go straight to your brain and give you a headache. I can't do that. But I do think, and we talked about this too, your olfactory senses, the smell is very, I wanted a sensory experience. So you're feeling it, and then there's just this light smell that just kind of creates this whole sensual experience. So that was one of the major things I wanted to get right, is having a scent that was not synthetic, but also brought some sensory experience to it.
Yeah, you nailed it. Let me go back. So the Beauty Way emphasizes daily mantras. We talked about that. We talked about on your full body or full size products that you have it. What is one mantra that you find yourself kind of saying on repeat most often when those mental load moments of motherhood are hitting?
I'm really into this. I feel like most of my life I've been rushing around, and especially as a mom, and I'm just really into softness right now. I'm realizing that when I get frenetic and things are going on, I'm just really leaning in to softness. And that has just been something lately where if I'm rushing around, there's still a million things to do, but there is a shift of how we're doing it. And I just find that the soak is I'm open to receive all the good that life has to offer. And that's one of my favorite ones. I do a little Sunday reset with the soak. It's on the family calendar. I go in, I do my bath. I'm open to receive all the good that life has to offer. So I love that one. But in these really big, these frenetic May-December moments, I'm just leaning in to soft.
I love that.
And that makes me take a deep breath and just leaning into that soft life. And I think that I'm getting just as much done as a business owner and a mom. I'm just trying to be softer.
Yeah. You're an achiever, and that side of you is not going to like go away, but just the approach and the thinking and all that kind of stuff.
And the breath and the mindfulness about how I start something, and if I'm frenetic or if I'm rushing, I'm just kind of like, okay, let's lean into the softness, because I'm open to receive all the good that life has to offer.
Yes, I love that
Yeah.
so much. You mentioned that your mom inspired your view of beauty and wellness. What is a beauty lesson that she taught you that now you've either incorporated into your brand or you're trying to pass down to your own children?
Well, she's definitely my muse. She was very ahead of her time. And in the 80s, she was very into self-care, and like that
Mm,
wasn't a thing.
mm-mm.
And I watched her. We had my brother, who's passed away now, but had been in and out of the hospital, some of the most stressful situations you could be in. And I watched her take time to move her body, to get her nails done, to do energy work, to do meditation, to have alone time. And never, ever did I feel like she didn't show up for us. I think she showed up for us because she was showing up for herself. And that just like wasn't a thing. That's how I grew up.
Definitely not a thing.
And then people were like, what? Your mom like taught you how to take care of yourself? So I think I come from like not having the guilt, because I watched her not have the guilt about taking care of herself,
Yeah.
and never feeling like she wasn't showing up for us. So when I became a mom, I went, oh my gosh, she was showing up for herself. And it really gave me permission to do the same. And I think that's why I I just don't have a lot of that guilt. I feel like I know how um to be present with myself, and I just think it helps me be present with the other parts of my life. So, she's so fun though. She was like, I was getting like a Reiki degree when I was 5, but I also had a facial when I was 6, and like got my collars done
Oh,
when I
wow.
was 7. So she was like, we're going to go meditate in Mount Shasta, but like, we're going to have like highlights.
Oh, gosh, I love her already. I love her already.
So she had this really fun balance of like lots of grounding, like things to do that, she'd be like, she taught me all about astrology. Like when my kids were born, she got their astrology chart done, so I would know how to parent them based on their astrology.
Yeah.
Um, but so she would do all these really kind of grounding, interesting things, like again in the 80s. But then, move her body, but then also she was just kind of luxe. And, so I kind of grew up um, with this idea that there's both, right?
And the duality.
And
You can be
the
both things.
duality, yeah, you can be both things. And so that was just, I mean, and as I've reflected on that as an adult, and as I talk to people, they're like, that's wild. That so she's been absolutely a muse, because she taught me so much about affirmations, and we've sort of spawed all over the world together. That's one of our things that we love to do. So I just took her on a little tour of some of this here in town, in Austin, of some of the spas that my treatments are at, and it's just like it's this full circle moment, because we've done all of these, and we were in Bali together doing a yoga retreat, and
Mm,
we were dreaming of these treatments and these spas, and here we are years later, where it's coming to fruition. And yeah, she's been such an interesting muse for self-care.
oh my gosh. I could probably talk about your mom like all day long, because now I'm like, what is she into in 2026? Like, what is she like? Is she ahead of the curve on everything? Like, we just need to follow her through time.
She's an acupuncturist, which she started doing in the early 90s, way ahead of her
Way,
time.
yeah, nobody was talking about it
I
then.
was getting cupping in elementary school, and people were like, what is wrong? Because you have the bruises and
Yeah.
stuff, but she was doing that in like 80, 88. She was doing cupping. And
Wow.
so we just did an event the other day together, and she did ear seeds for everyone, but she got these blingy ones. She's so fun.
Jyoti, this is amazing. All right. Well, we're going to stay in touch so I can learn all your mom's like
Yeah.
biohacking.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. My 7-year-old is obsessed with skincare, which I love. And we even did like a little massage night with your oil, like where I rubbed her
Love
shoulders.
it.
And it was nice to feel good about what I was putting on her skin, right?
Yeah.
Because so often with kids products, you're cringing about like the cotton candy scent and everything
I
like that.
know.
But have your kids expressed an interest in your products or your business? It sounds like you've brought them along a little bit.
I brought them along. I employ them to do different tasks with it. But yes, yes. And I actually hear it from my friends quite a bit. They're little girls because these little girls love skincare. I mean, there's like
Yeah.
birthday parties at Sephora now. It's a whole thing and they're starting early.
Oh my gosh.
um, my son, not so much right now. He just gets to help me. But my daughter very much. She'll ask about beauty wave baths. I have some videos of her saying like, oh, this is so luxurious. That's the thing. Like these teenagers have all the products.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, you've said that every step of building this business was worth it, no matter how messy. Can you think of like a specific time where the messy moments of business and motherhood sort of collided for you?
Well, I think just the whole adjustment from being a stay-at-home mom to starting a business. I mean, it wasn't all at once. There was the 2 years of building the brand and doing all the formulas, but there was a good, I don't know, maybe till yesterday. No, it's finding the support system. My mom moved here, which has been
Oh,
really helpful as far as just helping me because I pick them up from school and take them to their events or activities or home. Um, but I think the messy part was just balancing all of that. But I have such a strong support system. My husband is such a partner and
mhm.
really shows up and is really capable. So I think that's allowed me the messy parts where trying to figure out how I show up on both sides. Um, and then I've just had to learn like what you have to say yes to everything in the beginning, right? And so that's messy because you're like just tired and it's weekends and you want to be with your family and it's nice. And that was really, it's been a journey to figure out what to say yes to and what's going to move the business forward versus just being busy.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's something I still work on. What do you say yes to move it forward? So, but there's been lots of tears. There's been, I'm selling it all. My Instagram got hacked and lost
No.
everything.
You lost everything?
Lost everything.
Oh my
Lost all
gosh.
my followers. And it's like it takes a while to build the
Build it
momentum
up.
and
Mhm.
build it up. I lost everything. It got hacked. I still have no idea what happened. So I just kind of start over from that. So there's been some big things that have happened that I'm like, I was on a trip one time and I was finally relaxing and I called my husband and I'm like, "Man, I'm done. I'm done selling it all." And then, you got to have those moments and then just sort of refocus. But yeah, the messiness is finding the balance from, the stay-at-home mom because that's your whole existence to then becoming a business person and finding that balance. But I feel like I'm in a good place right now with a support system, asking for help, which can be really hard because I
Yeah.
think we are so capable, but it doesn't mean we have to be.
That's right. That's right. I've heard that from so many business owners is finding your support system. Find your people, find your
Yeah.
support system. Like even if it's just mentally, emotionally, or it's like physically they're doing something for you, like they're, offloading some of the work, but like find your people.
And in business, it takes a while to filter and to find those people, and it's ongoing. Um, but
Yeah.
yeah. So I think it's a journey for sure.
Um, your dad taught you that anything is possible if you take the risk.
Yes.
For the mom listening who has a business idea but is terrified of the what ifs, what would you say to her?
Um, I would say find something you love. Quiet your mind, take some time to reflect. If you're trying to figure out what to do next, but you know that there is something next, because that's where I wasn't sure what it was, but there was an and. And so take some time, create some space, and tap into something that you really love. Because I don't feel like, even with the ups and downs, I wouldn't have it any other way. And I love and am obsessed with what I'm doing.
Mm,
So I think it's really, and my dad was, that was a really huge thing. As you mentioned, my dad was very into a philosopher called Joseph Campbell, and he talked about following your bliss. And so I think from a very young age, my dad was like, find something you love and you'll never work a day in your life. Like the
mm,
doors and the windows will open when you follow your heart. So I think it's just quieting yourself enough to find what that piece is. And then I think you're guided. You find those signs and you meet those people if that's what your intentions. Like, are my actions aligned with my heart's desire? That's why I love
yeah.
that one on the wash, because it's really focusing in on, am I doing the things to create the life I want? And you can, absolutely. And I think my dad just was great. He was like, you can do whatever you want. Look them in the eye, give them a good handshake, and show up. Say what you do and do what you say. And I think just having that and having the confidence from both of them in such different ways was really a formula for creating, me feeling confident to create a life that I love.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing. Um, this one might be a hard one because it may be like picking your favorite child. But if a mom has 60 seconds before her kids come in that bathroom and find her, which the Beauty Way product should she reach for?
The oil.
The oil.
It's such a sensual, like nurturing experience to put that on.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's beautiful. I love it.
And I think you can do that fast. I also love the polish in the shower. I love that head to toe. I love to do my lips in the shower, and that just like
Mm,
brings the luster back to your lips. I love it before and after a shave, and your skin just feels like baby skin.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I love that. But I think the oil is just one of those ones that's just instant gratification. You're glowing, you're soft, it soaks in, you can get dressed, you can have your life.
Yeah.
Um,
You
and
smell
it's I choose
good.
happiness, and you smell good. And it's I choose happiness. So like just creating that space and that choice in that moment. But
Awesome. Awesome.
I do love all of them,
All the children. We love all the children.
all the children.
You've mentioned that you have great gut instinct. How has your great gut instinct helped you with business? And then maybe on the flip side of that, how has it helped you with your parenting journey?
That's another thing. I think as women, we innately have that intuition, and again, I think it's like a muscle that we need to tune into and actually listen and follow what it's saying. And I think I've just gotten good at following it. I think it's always been there and we all have it. I've just gotten, I'm not a data person. And I know so many founders are like, look at the data, look at the data, look at the data, and I have people that help me with looking at the data, but I'm not a data person. I am, for an example, before I had any treatments in any spas, I created back bar sizes, which are the big sizes in bulk that a hotel gets to do the treatments. So
Mm,
I was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to create treatments, and they're going to be in, now I've got them at the Fairmont and Proper Hotel and Miraval here in Austin, launching in June. Thompson Hotel. But before I had any of those, I created those back bar sizes. So
you knew. You
I do.
knew.
So it's that intuition, and it's a little scary. And I'm also, for better or worse, not risk adverse. I think it's scarier not to take the risk, which is could be scary to some people, but I just think you got to take the risk. And if you believe in something, you have to do your homework and you have to show up and you have to do all that. But I think I'm someone who I feel comfortable taking the risk and reaping the reward. So I think it's having the intuition and then really following it. But it's hard because there is so many distractions. But I do a lot of business decisions based on my gut
Gut.
and my
Yeah.
intuition.
Yeah.
I
No,
I
I get it.
just I think that's what's led me. And then the parenting one's tougher because your emotions are so involved, and I'm such a mama bear, and I think I'm still working on that one. That's a tough one. I just I try to, it's hard because I think also kids like can do very triggering things, and it can like, you can say things that are very, or think things that are very emotionally immature. And you've got to really like
Mhm.
wind that back and say, um, I saw this quote the other day and it's made me think about it so much. It said, like, heal your wounds or they'll raise your children.
Ooh,
And I was like, oh my gosh, no matter your childhood, great, whatever, we all have these things that were wounded and
something.
these triggering and these things that are dysfunctional or that come up or that are unhealed. And I saw that and I thought, okay, that's an important one to kind of think about as these things come up when kids are triggering. So just tapping into saying those things in our head first, and like, is that something you'd say to yourself as a little girl, even in that moment, and taking that breath, taking that moment um, before we react.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love that. I love that. Jyoti, you have been so generous with your time. I have like two more questions and then I
Yeah.
promise we're gonna wrap up. What's next for the Beauty Way, or what are you most excited about right now?
So I have a couple new launches coming this summer, so that'll be really
Yay.
fun. I've got a really beautiful lip oil with hyaluronic and squalene, and I have a hand cream that has copper peptide, which is the beauty peptide,
Mm,
hyaluronic, and silk. So those are exciting. But the thing I'm most excited about is these treatments. So going into these hotels, I have sort of core protocols that they can use in treatments, but my favorite thing that I've been doing is going into these properties, finding what makes that property special, and then creating for the proper. We created something with a little bit of breath work. There's some sound
mm.
healing. Then you're using the products. We're doing the Balinese foot cleansing ritual that I
Oh,
learned there.
cool.
It sort of gets the dust off the day and helps with grounding. And then there's this beautiful massage. So that's the thing I'm really excited about right now is creating these experiences for people to experience the beauty way and the essence of what the brand means and what it wants to inspire, but in these treatments in these beautiful hotels. So that's been, there's lots of things coming up, but that's been the most exciting for me because it's such a creative process.
Totally.
And we get to tune into these different Miraval is very much about wellness and mantras. They have mantras all over their properties. So we're doing much more of a mantra focused treatment. So very exciting. We've got a launch coming there in June at the property. So
Ah, kudos to you. That is so awesome.
that'll be really exciting.
Yeah, yeah. Good on you. All right, my friend. The last thing that I do with my guests is something called cheat codes. So, a cheat code is something that you have implemented in your life that has just made your household run more smoothly. Do you have a cheat code to share?
I do. And actually, my husband, my very capable husband, is the one who told me about this. It's called Reseme, is the app.
Okay.
So, like you're scrolling on Instagram and there's a million recipes that come up and you're like the 5 minute, whatever, or this is a
Yes.
great weeknight. You're like, oh my gosh, I got to make this, and you save it and then it's gone.
Yes.
So this, you can save it and then share it to this Reseme app and it imports it. It does all the ingredients, all the, you can convert it to making it smaller or bigger for a family, and then it will go directly into the shopping list. So it leaves your saved box in Instagram and goes in, and we have little categories, and I have mine, Jyoti's ones, and my husband has his. And so I just go into that app instead of like going back to Instagram, searching for it, and they're just lost. So now you can go in and it just has everything for you, and you actually get those out of that box, which is such a cheat code because all these great ideas that get lost, and then you can put them into here. So it's Recime, Reseme.
Man. All right.
It's a
Kudos to
good
your
one.
husband.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Big thanks to your husband. That's a good
Yeah.
one. It's something that I will be downloading because
It's so good.
currently I just like send all the recipes to my husband in Instagram. And then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I just need to remember to go back to our message stream and see what I sent him. It's like not efficient at all.
It's not efficient. And even when you save it into something, you just never go back.
No, you
So
never do.
now it's all, and you can write notes. Like it says, like, make it healthier, and you can take notes and all. It's amazing.
Wow. Okay.
Amazing. I
All
just
right.
did one before our call. I saw something from, I'm trying to remember the website, but I was like, oh yeah, go right in there and then check it out. So love that. I mean, the shared calendar, obviously, but the recipe one for weeknight dinners and just entertaining, it's all right there.
Okay. All right. This is a good cheat code. This is a good cheat code. Jyoti, you've been amazing. You are so inspiring. I'm so excited for you and all these incredible launches that you have coming up. Where can people find out more about you and your magical products?
Oh, thank you so much. The World Wide Web, thebeautywayco.com. So thebeautywayco.com. I'm on Instagram, thebeautyway_co. And that's where you can find me. And then if you're in Austin, I'm at, the Thompson, the Proper here in Austin, Miraval in June, and the Fairmont. So coming nationwide, we'll be expanding those experiences into different locations. But here in Austin, there's lots of ways to experience it in person.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much. What a great conversation. Thank you for all you're doing.